question we get asked a lot is how to race, how to pace yourself, how to respond when one of your competitors accelerates, or how to assert yourself on a field. So I thought it might be quite fun to run through a 5K handicap race that we've just run, talk you through some of the tactics that we're deploying, and generally just give a bit of insight into what's going through a runner's head through different stages of the running race. So here we're in, it's cold, it's sort of 8 degrees, 9 degrees, it's windy, so these are weather conditions that you should take into account before you, when you're planning your tactics around a race. So we're all sort of just moving around a little bit to find out where the best cover is. Shelter and aerodynamics and trying to avoid the full force of the wind is a really important thing to master if you're out on the road. Same for the track as well. You're going to get a headwind, you're going to get a tailwind, but you never quite get back in the tailwind the energy you've lost into the headwind. So we're just trying to settle into a comfortable pace here. To start a race is absolutely fundamental to pacing. You go off too hard in the first K of a race, you're going to feel that fatigue times 2, 3 towards the end of the race. So you've got to just try and dose your effort. My advice is start the first quarter of a race feeling quite comfortable, not feeling you're on the limit, because you think about that in another few more kilometers, that feeling of fatigue is just going to build. So now we're by the lake section of the 5K course, so 2 laps of this course. So anything you learn on the first lap, you want to be getting ready to deploy on the second lap. This is a tailwind section, so you can see we're not running in sort of an echelon, in a line, and we're looking for the first kilometre marker, so that we can work out what our pacing is. Are we going too fast or are we going too slow? So we're aiming for 16-minute 5K. So we want to be hitting our kilometre marks at about 3-minute 10 pace, 3-minute 15, 3-minute 10. That way we can respond at the end towards the end of the race and increase our pace if we're under target. We're all working really well together here, taking in turns in being in the front and setting the pace. Another top tip is to set your watch, if you've got a GPS running watch, to alert you at every kilometre, so that you can just maintain a good sort of feedback loop of are you pacing it right, or are you going too fast? I recommend sort of 1 kilometre increments, so that you can adjust your pace accordingly. If you do it on miles, then you've sort of got fewer waypoints to work out whether you're pacing yourself well. And on that K we came through in about 3:15, so perfect pacing. We're getting to about halfway in now, 8 minutes of running in. You know how well you're feeling by this time. You know whether you're on a good day or a bad day. It's also a really, really important part of the race. This is where a lot of people sort of start to back off a little bit, thinking that they need to hold on. Psychologically, this is where you really start to dig in and need to increase your pace to counter the instinct to slow down. So as we round this corner, we're almost exactly 2.5 Ks into the 5K race, and you know what you've got to do. You know the course, you've done it before, so it's about digging in, working together, working well, and upping the pace. Remember, halfway through, only got another 2.5 Ks to go, so it's about digging in now. Again, this is where it helps to have your GPS watch or waypoints, quite regular waypoints, because in your mind you just want to get to that next K marker. You just want to get to divide the race into small chunks so you can just bite away at the small chunks. The longer the race, the more difficult it can be psychologically to keep motivated, keep concentrated for the full extent of the race. So breaking it into small little chunks is really helpful, just to, right, I need to hit that waypoint at that time to be on target. And repeat. Don't overthink things, just keep it really simple. You're just going to try and hit a marker at a certain time. So that's another reason why it's helpful to just get regular updates on your pacing. You can see this on the track. Every 400 meters, runners might glance at their watch just to see whether they're on pace, whether that 400 meters was on target. It's the same for any road race as well. The GPS watches have made it easier to work that into any race. Not all races are going to have kilometre markers, so brilliant if you've got a watch that does GPS to use that for any road race. Here we're coming across some other runners on the course. It's really important not to get sucked into anyone else's pace. I mean, I don't think that's going to happen here, but the temptation can be, once you catch a runner who's in front and going slightly slower than you, is to be caught in their pace, and that can knock you off your pacing. So depending on how good you feel, it's better to just ignore other runners, not sit on them, just go for it, try and power past. Now this is getting to the last 800 meters of the race, and Jack, the runner I'm with, takes it up. We're heading into a tailwind section, so I'm getting less shelter here, and Jack's got extra speed to burn here, so he just puts in a little surge and distances me. He's opened up a really good gap here. This is 20 meters worth of gap, but then we flick a left and we're back into quite a strong headwind. So I think that slowed Jack down a little bit and enabled me to get back on terms. So we're going down to a sprint, and my old legs just don't have that kick in them. This is something that I need to take into training. After any endurance training, it's really good to spend a little bit of time doing some sprint efforts, just to tell your legs and make your legs know how to sprint when they're fatigued. I just couldn't up the pace at this point. I was stuck in a rhythm and couldn't break that rhythm out. And finished in a PB, I think, for Jack of 16:11, which is great running. Most of the guys haven't raced or had their training interrupted because of lockdown, so a great foundation on which to build.
Fine, Jack. Got a nice full touch. Very soft, Jack.
Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed that. Stay tuned, make sure you click subscribe and like for more videos like this. We'll be doing more sort of deep dive breakdowns of race and tactics in the months to come, so look forward to it.